What a game, what a game. Shout out to Ohio State, the 2024-2025 national champions, man. They did their thing tonight. I want to show some love to Notre Dame, though, because they made it a better game than I thought it was going to be. I was about to write a post on Facebook talking about this is Indiana, Ohio State 2.0. Y'all remember that game when Indiana came out early and they looked like it was going to be a fight, and then Ohio State steamrolled them jokers. That being said, Notre Dame really put up a fight, really made this game interesting. I'll be honest with you. If Notre Dame didn't come back in this game, everybody would have turned the TVs off a long time ago. But shout out to Riley Leonard, his leadership, and things of that nature, that he was able to just get them back in this game and make it a nail biter until Jeremiah Smith, your future 2025-26 Heisman winner. That's what I'm saying it now. He really just put the nail in the coffin. Notre Dame's not going nowhere. So that's the beautiful thing about this game, and neither is Ohio State. But Ohio State pushed all their chips to the middle of the table this year. They added the pieces they needed to add, plus Jeremiah Smith. And, they showed that, this is what the new college football landscape is going to look like. If you have the money to put that talent on the field, you are expected to win a national championship, and it's going to be interesting to see for years to come, because these two, I think it was already a little bit of a rivalry because Notre Dame has played Ohio State in the past, but I think this is going to build up to be something, because these two teams are going to be teams that see each other in the playoffs. Notre Dame has that automatic bid because they're independent, and if as long as they win a certain amount of games, they're always going to be in the playoffs, just about the fifth seed, so on and so forth. So that they a lot of commentators were saying Notre Dame almost has the sweetest spots of everybody when it comes to the playoffs, because they'll always have a interesting way in, and as long as they continue to build like Marcus Freeman has done. Shout out to him, the first African American head coach to play in not to play. I keep saying that, to coach in a national championship. Shout out to him because he's bringing in a lot of NFL legacies next year. Jerome Bettis' son, this one's son, that one's son. So he's got a lot of kids on the field, a lot of kids coming in. If Notre Dame really figures out their passing game, it's over. Shout out to Riley Leonard. No shade to him. You know what I mean? He did what he needed to do tonight, as far as the pass game goes. But once they open that thing up and they're able to push the ball down the field, they're going to be a super balanced offense, and they're going to be tough to contend with. And that's why I say, they're not going anywhere. And then obviously Ohio State, the money train is going to keep on rolling. They're going to continue to get the top talent. It's going to be interesting to see what their quarterback situation looks like next year, because Howard is done, and they do have some in the stable, but we're going to have to see. And, Michigan, that's going to be the only sore spot that they got to take care of. No shade, but, I think that the Big Ten is going to be a hard place. You know, I, I, I. You know, they really took care of the SEC this year. The way Ohio State dismantled Tennessee, we talked about that before, and you know, with Notre Dame being able to contend with Georgia, it's going to be interesting to see that the Big Ten, who's going to stay on top. You know what I mean? I think that a lot of SEC heads, boosters, all that stuff, they're going to be up in the ante because they do not want to get left behind. Because if Ohio State and Michigan continue to steamroll, and then you have some lower tier Big Ten teams getting their stuff together, it's going to be tough for the SEC for years to come. But getting back to the subject at hand, Ohio State took care of business tonight. Jeremiah Smith, put the nail in the coffin for them, and shout out to Ohio State. To the victor goes the spoils. Um, you can get that monkey off of Ryan Day's back. You can say whatever you want. Whatever I think that if Ryan Day, just let's just say he runs this back and he wins another one, but he doesn't meet Michigan, that game in itself will mean a lot less. You know what I mean? Not to the people on the field, but to the bigger scope of everything. Because who is stopping Ryan Day right now? Ryan Day with Chip Kelly, um, the chemistry they have. If he keeps his defensive coordinator Jim Knowles, if that guy doesn't get zapped up to the NFL, who's going to stop them? Who's going to stop them? And then you got 2 to 3 more years with Jeremiah Smith. All you got to do is get him the ball. The interesting thought I had is, man, this is sidebar, but it was supposed to be Cam Ward was the one who kind of set the tone for this championship. Because if y'all remember, Ohio, he had a offer on the table from Ohio State, and he had an offer on the table from Miami and Florida State. And once Cam Ward made his decision, or actually Will Howard, Ohio State got tired of waiting for Cam Ward and then took Will Howard. I think the bidding price probably went too high, and as you can see from what Miami did this year with the Georgia quarterback that just transferred there, that they were offering more money. But man, I just revisionist history. I just can't stop to think, man, if Cam Ward would have went to Ohio State, he probably would have had a national championship and the Heisman. And that's the difference in this year. But shout out to Will Howard. He will forever be a legend at Ohio State. That's the man that Kansas State rejected. So he's got a lot of shots fired all around. Kansas State, see what you could have had. Penn State, see what you could have had, because that's where he wanted to go. A whole bunch of everything. But he played lights out tonight. He didn't make the big mistake. He was focused. He made the throws he needed to throw. He was cerebral. He lived up to the moment of, this is it. I'm going to be a national champion tonight. Needless to say, I'm not sure how his career will go in the NFL, but I do know that, he was able to show his capabilities on the biggest stage and an NFL team. He's probably not going to be a first-round pick, but, I think he gained some draft stock tonight, all things being equal. He probably went from, like, a fifth-round pick to, like, at least a third or a low second. So that, somebody's going to bring him in because just because of the leadership. Now, he still has to learn how to take care of the ball, but he has some mobility. He makes the throws he needs to make, and, we'll see what happens. All that being said, to the victor goes the spoils. Shout out to Ohio State, the 2024-2025 national champions. Let's go. I'm only going to do this one time. Big Ohio, all that stuff. Shout out to you, Ohio State. With that being said, this is Boom More Sports. I'm out. Peace.